Good afternoon and welcome to Biztech Conversations. I'm Brian Fernandez and our guest today is Jeffery Seah. He's the partner at Quest Ventures in Singapore. Welcome to the show, Jeffery.
Thank you, Brian. I'm happy to be on the show.
Now, Jeffery, could you just give us a quick overview of Quest, how you were started, who the partners are, your focus, etc.?
Thank you for the question. Quest Ventures was actually founded in 2011 on 11/11 by my partner James Tan. Yeah, while everyone was busy buying things online, T-shirts and all, he was buying an email domain, a website domain address. He started to register Quest Ventures, and it was meant as his own personal investment vehicle. And at the time, he was exiting CEO of a big Chinese company. So when he came on board, when he decided to get ready to return to Singapore, he started Quest Ventures there and back in Singapore, and that was how he housed his early investments. So along the way, while he was there, we got to know each other, myself and Yiping. And Yiping, like him, was a startup founder. They were in the same space, and I was an angel investor in many tech companies, and we met each other when we invested in the same company. And I was a venture partner and for a while, and then we did a lot of investments. And one day we decided to launch the new fund, which is called Asia Fund 2, and now dedicate more time to it. So our focus is on Southeast Asia, emerging Asia, and now we are there investing in all those places.
Now you've done, I think, about 50 odd deals, if I'm not mistaken. And you're operating in about 150 countries. Your investee companies are about 4,400 employees. And interestingly enough, you started off as a Southeast Asian focus, but now you even have investments in places like Kazakhstan. How did that geographical spread happen?
Excellent question, Brian. The 50 companies, majority of them came from the first fund where James was the angel investor, super angel investor. And we had invested in a few together. But in those companies, now they are vintage 9 years old, the first fund, right? Fund 1. So they are all grown very big. And as they grow, as the proverbial word in startup world, right? Everyone's looking for unicorn. But what we are all looking for is actually, if you look at imaginary animals, we're actually looking for Pegasus. That flies and expand to many different markets. So many of the big companies have done so. Look at Carousel, which we were the first investor. Look at Shopback. Look at 99Co, Theory. Even in Malaysia, we have a company. We have one of the more interesting online comedian company called MGAG, right? And
never heard of that one before, but okay.
You go check it out, NGAG. They make a lot of fun on people on Facebook, and it's a spin-off of a successful one in the Philippines and Singapore known as SGAG and PGAG. So they are all companies that, as they start, they went across the world. And to your point, Brian, I think in this new technology world, geography boundaries actually cease to exist. When you expand across the world, it's a lot more frictionless.
Yes.
Because I spent 25 years in the marketing and data and advertising MNC. And in those days, when you define an MNC, a multinational corporation, that means you are present in 100+ countries. You really have boots on the ground, right?
Yes.
But today, if you are a startup, right, you don't need to have people on the ground. You can have customers everywhere in the world. You have become an MNC because your transaction is based on a technology platform.
Absolutely. And so which brings us to the whole Scale Up Malaysia partnership. Can you walk us through the stages of the partnership from germination all the way to fruition now? All
right. Scale Up Malaysia, right? By itself, the phrase is a bit humble. I think the team we look to partner in Malaysia, the Scale Up Malaysia team, right? They actually are a very seasoned bunch of people. Dr. Siva, Andre, Renata, Zelia, Aaron, and then Shanli. All of them are household names in their own ways. They will achieve a lot and come far and do this together. And when they do, we know them, James knows them much better, my partner James. We were there last year, and we know they can do a lot more. And I think that the Malaysia word is a bit of a misnomer. What they are trying to do is to help Malaysia companies scale up the rest of the world. So when we were looking at this fund, we look at partners that could do well, to bring people, bring companies to the right space and pick the right companies. So Scale Up Malaysia was a natural one with this team of people. So we have a lot of chemistry working together. We think we can find the right gems from the Malaysian market and then remove all the restrictions or supposed maybe mental blocks to companies in Southeast Asia expanding across the world, even to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan and Central Asia, landlocked economy. They want to build an ecosystem, economic corridor with Southeast Asia. Central Asia is a Muslim country. They're happy to lend into Malaysia and lend to Indonesia as well through Quest, through this partnership. So Scale Up Malaysia has, as a partnership, we thought that it was very complementary to what we were doing with our overall thesis. And we're so happy to find a team, Doxy Rasti.
Yeah, and that's, as you correctly pointed out, a very seasoned team. They bring various skill sets to the table. And I think you mentioned a very important criteria as well when you're doing cross-border partnerships, which is about chemistry. And they are a team within themselves with very good chemistry as well. But walk us through what the details of the deal are. The 1 million investment, how is that going to be invested and so forth?
Well, I think the numbers always make people sit up. So the great marketing viewer behind it always focus on the numbers. I think to me, the details are more important. The investment includes running a program over a couple of years and coaching them a lot more, picking the best companies that come along, giving them the funds to build themselves up. We have a stake in them from this investment. Then we are also able to work a team on the ground to help them scale together with us, guide them towards the full potential to fulfill their full potential. So this will take place over a period of selection. We'll see who's the best, who are the good ones, who got better tested thinking, the right set of founders, the right mindsets to open markets, the pricing points, and how they can grow businesses. So we need people on the ground that can guide them. They are from all walks of life, all different domains. So with the Scale Up Malaysia team, we can do so. So we are actually foster parents to a bunch of startups and taking them from childhood through puberty and hopefully through past their teenage years. And when they graduate from the scheme with us, we hopefully by then they'll enter adulthood. And that will be when the other VCs will come in and invest in them.
And isn't that the whole point of this? It's literally to walk them through various stages of their life cycle and grow them regionally and hopefully globally as well. Now, what sort of ticket sizes are you looking to invest in each one of these companies?
I think this right now, all of them will, if those are selected, they join the program, those are selected with him, each of them will get a 250,000 ringgit as a start, right? And from there, they can actually grow their company. So in coming into this game, right, they need to have meet certain set of criteria. For example, maybe they already have open a GMV of 300,000 ringgit to come to join the program. They are market tested. It's not just ideas, and they're ready to take it to the next level. So we do have some criteria, and the details are clear on the page, and there's some QR codes you can scan on the SUM Facebook page. But at the same time, we also are very careful to see that none of them are the same. So this is not a process, right? Like foster parents taking care of kids, right? It's not a process, parenting. You have to customize it for every one of them. So the good thing is that the 10 or 12 or 14 of them that get finally selected into the final selection pool, they will have many parents to learn from, and we hope to be able to guide them.
Now, sectorially, for these 12, 15 companies or so, what sort of sectors are you looking for in terms of investment?
A good question, Brian. Because as a investor partner, Quest Ventures, our investment thesis is digital economy. And by digital economy, we talked about things that we do in our normal lives for many years, but now we move it to the digital world. So that covers many facets. And we are, because of our background, and James, Yiping, and myself, we come from very operator business and multinational business background. We are not financial investors, neither are we investment bankers. So we are about businesses.
And also Quest, I think, go ahead. So, I want to interject, and that's something good about you guys, which I found out. Quest is very founder friendly. I think has a reputation for being very founder friendly.
Yeah, I think a lot of that credit goes to James. I think being a founder themselves, they are very clear what they want, right? And they know that in the early stages, usually in the early years, the startup fellas didn't have people who are from the operating background. So the financial folks, the investors tend to be investment sharks. So they come in, they take a lot of the founders, and the story is the same everywhere in the world, from US to China to Israel to Southeast Asia. So now you see more as the industry mature, you get more domain strength corporate people who actually bring a lot more canvas to the startup. So because of that, we guide people wider and bigger through this process. So as you talk about in the previous, we talk about the last question you asked, we were talking about, I think that as you see the startups that come through, their potential will be fulfilled if we get them the right lessons at the time. And every startup, as they go through this journey of growth, they have their own different problems. And some of the problems are mental, some of them are physical, and some of them they have to combat the self-doubt. No, we were just talking about it earlier about healthy doubt, right? How to provide them healthy self-doubt, right? Negative self-doubt is bad because they're going to a spiral of silence.
Yes.
But healthy ones, they will keep challenging themselves to improve. And that's what we aim for as a method of conversation with them.
Now, because you're partnering this opportunity with Scale Up Malaysia, you're putting in this 250,000 or so per startup. What's the equity split like between Quest Ventures and Scale Up Malaysia?
Okay, there are some we have some agreements and some conversations at the front, Brian. And suffice to say, both of us have substantial skin in the game to do this right. But on the specific splits, I might have to defer to our confidentiality clauses.
Okay. I didn't expect you to answer that, but
yeah, well, I'm trying my best to make the necessary waves, not create a tsunami for you. Right, but we do. We go into a very equal and equitable partnership, and that's always been our working relationship with the SUM team in the current and previous capacities.
Now, moving forward in terms of strategy, is this a litmus test as a first step towards then other partnership across the region and with other partners, and also deeper partnerships with Scale Up Malaysia?
Brian, that is such a $64 million question. It's a great one. Yes, I think the notion of work, the notion of innovation, of reinvention, of modernizing our economy rests with all of us and not just individual governments. As being a society and practitioners, it is often that we see that new things that come out, people tend to cast it away because the old thinking is, it ain't broke, don't fix it. But COVID has shown that if you wait for it to be broken, you will be broken, right? So the better folks are those that have some moonshots in their pocket. Moonshot is a phrase popularized by the Google folks about projects that, they shoot to the moon, right? Moonshots, right? But I think if you have things in the oven, always about inventing yourself, improving yourself, my personal adage is about being better than yourself yesterday, right? You need to strive for continuous improvement. So if you have those kind of thinking in the mindsets, if we work with partners across the region, then anytime there's big force majeure events like COVID-19, the economy will not go into a shock and tailspin because you have this ready-made new stuff that really support you. So Scale Up Malaysia is the first of many, right? And it is not necessarily a litmus test, a binary litmus test. It is a continuous spectrum of change, a progressive change that provides us with a growth mindset that we need to continuously improve ourselves, irrespective of whether whether it's broken or not. You've got to fix it before it's broken.
No, absolutely. And one of the things that I think we commend you for doing that, I think many people don't realize Malaysia's opportunities and cost structures and also the vibrant tech ecosystem that actually prevails in Malaysia. You could do the same thing for a quarter of the price of some regional markets. So I commend you on that, and thank you very much for joining us on BizTech's Conversations. Our guest today was Jeffery Seah, the partner at Quest Ventures, and we're at BizTech Conversations. Please check us out at www.biztech.asia.